Hi, Casey.
Hi, Danielle.
Good to be back with you in this bright morning light.
Great to be back with you. My curtains are all drawn.
Everything's going great.
Emotionally, physically, and sexually. That's right. How are you? What's going on?
I'm actually good this morning, and you want to know why?
Yes, please.
I've gotten myself some new pillows to sleep on.
That is a lift.
You know, it truly, like physically and metaphysically. Sexually.
Emotionally.
I can lift my ass better. Like, it's all.
Okay.
But these pillows, and I'm going to tell everybody, they're not from a source you would think you could find a pillow.
Oh, boy. Is this a hashtag ad?
No, this is not an ad, but I should be, and I should be a sponsor because, guys, this pillow isn't from, you know, your regular bedding association.
Your Bed Bath & Beyond.
No, this is a different. These pillows are brought to you by Claritin, the drug company.
What?
So these pillows.
What's that?
Are from, no, one wouldn't think you're going to get a good pillow from a pharmaceutical company.
That's a pharmaceutical rep. No, I wouldn't.
No, but guys, my sister, who is a pharmaceutical rep, I slept on these pillows at her house, and I was like, they're the best pillows I've ever used, and they're by Claritin, the people who make drugs.
Is this like a gift they give out at conferences?
No,
or
you
is this
can buy
something
one.
within their line?
This is within their line.
So they're like, you got allergies, these pillows will help.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm telling you guys, go out, get yourself a Claritin drug and pillow.
Oh, so you're hawking the whole company, right?
I'm hawking the whole company. Not that they need my help during these times. And this is not a hashtag ad, but Claritin pillows. I got them on sale with my
pharmaceutical companies are struggling right now.
Well, guess what? We got to help everybody.
It's not a mom and pop shop.
Yeah, but someone's mom, someone's pop started Claritin.
Mr. and Mrs. Claritin.
Mr. and Mrs.
Grandma Claritin.
Now, I did get a special discount because, like I said, my sister is a pharmaceutical
Danielle,
rep.
no one's questioning if you got a discount.
But get yourself a Claritin pillow, guys.
Wow. When you said not from the normal source,
what were you expecting?
Well, I flashed to the source my brother often uses for his bedding needs, which is my brother is not a fancy man. And he heard that the neighbor above him passed in his bed. And said, could I have that bed?
No, Casey,
yes.
no.
Yes. Fletcher, Todd Wilson, and his wife have slept for years in what they call the dead man's bed.
No!
And it's a king. And when my husband and I go to visit, they're like, you guys want to take our room? We're like, we're all set.
We're good.
We're good.
Now,
I can't talk myself because when I moved to LA, I found a twin mattress in the garage of my apartment building.
No.
It wasn't inside the garage. It was like out. So I don't know who had brought it, and it had
rid themselves of it because maybe it was infested with a creature.
Exactly. Like, you're not putting your mattress out in such a hurried fashion like that unless something's gone very wrong. There was a slight, what I thought to be a coffee stain, and it was a twin, and I marched it right up to my place, and I used that for a few years.
You were on a murder bed, Casey.
For
sure.
I know. Sometimes you have to get things where you can get them.
Of course, and sometimes you need to get a pillow from Claritin. These are all things.
Or the bed a man's life ended in.
Passed in.
And I go, well, was this like a one-time thing? And it's not that someone could die multiple times. It's more just like, was he fine? And then just like that night, and Fletcher's like, oh, no. He was gravely ill in that bed for a year.
So he died in that bed. Like that bed, each piece of life that passed out of him went into that mattress.
Right. As soiled as they come.
Oh my God, Casey. Your brother has some
My brother's
money.
like, it's a tribute. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Burn a fucking candle. Do not take his bed.
My brother, another thing I'll say that is so disgusting about him is that he's a medical device engineer. So he's always cooking up things, and he actually has great success in the field of like finding things that will help people with major problems, such as right now, deep vein thrombosis. He has like a new product coming out for it, which is helping people who are in like terrible, terrible pain. So I salute him. Okay.
Yes.
But he also has to find a path to find these projects, you know, and to find his new big ideas. And so he had some idea involving feces, as you know, not my favorite topic.
You always say that, and yet you bring it up all the time. Thou
Here
doth
we
protest
go.
too
strap in. So he had someone, he's like, I really need to get into the microbiome space. And that's what we're learning a ton about health. And like, okay, I can go there. And he's like, and this is one again, David, my husband, David, Four Seasons cast. Again, I want everyone to know I grew up, the nicest vacation I went on was camping. Like I did not come up with money, but my husband has kind of ushered me into a world that has made me a monster. So my brother says we suffer from affluenza, and I know no one's going to like any of this. These are realities. Okay?
So scared.
Okay. And so my brother's like, well, you guys, if you don't mind not going down in the basement bathroom. And we're like, okay, what? And David's already like, what? Like, what's happening? And he's like, it's just, I've been running a few experiments, not said with like laughter. And he's a very funny guy, but this is dead ass serious. It's just like the way you'd be like, I have my like movie script down there, like up on the board, like kind of.
Yeah. Just everyone leave that space alone.
Right. Like leave my project alone. Where he has bins that he's put inside the toilet where he catches the shit of his wife and daughter and sifts through it.
No.
Yes.
Casey,
I go, what? Like, and he goes, but listen, I'd always love a new specimen. We're like,
I mean, we should have Ramona and him get together.
You're right. Ramona would be great.
Perfect little turds swimming around that bowl.
Really something.
Wow. Your brother is a hero and disgusting.
Yeah. He's like, this is how medical advancements are made, Casey. They don't just get made from sitting around. They get made from sifting through your wife's shit. And I will say he and his wife have a relationship. It's like, can you imagine being like, oh, hey, I just shit. You want to get to work? Like, go ahead.
Get to step in.
It's not the most romantic. He's like, oh, thank God Clementine's potty trained now because, well, of course.
Because we can catch it more regularly. It's more solid too now, which I'm sure is helpful.
Very helpful.
Now, I have to
Anyway.
We've taken a turn.
Yeah.
We've taken a wild turn.
From Clarendon to...
Now, I also have to say, Casey, that what are you doing in your beauty routine right now? Because something's looking great. Like, what are you doing?
Are you serious,
Yeah,
Danielle?
meaningfully.
You're kidding.
No. Why would I say that? Why would I joke?
Okay. Well, I have a new device by Clarendon. No. Nothing different.
No?
I'm doing my own nails. I've gotten my hair colored and my bangs cut in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it.
But no, new face mask or anything?
Oh, I did. Okay. I cannot tell a lie. I did buy this thing. I got it for Mother's Day. It's like a mask that goes on your face with like one of those infrared lights. I think it's called Dr. Brandt that Andrew Rannells turned me on to.
Okay.
You turn it on for 3 minutes. It actually calms you. It's like something about like light therapy. And I look like a demon from hell. Like my whole face is just lit up red. My children are terrified. And it's 3 minutes. Is it doing anything? It sounds like yes, it is.
And do you feel anything when that's happening?
No, it's just a light. It's like light therapy. So it kind of helps with acne or it just helps with, I don't know what, Danielle. I'm just grasping at straws here. You know?
Your skin looks great.
Like I know everyone is struggling during this time and I have the best possible version of it. But I just will say, at 39 as an actress to go down these 2 years when your face, should be out on that screen is hard.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's hard.
That's a hard year.
It is. It's the year.
Like, will I ever come back?
The answer is no, I think.
I know it is. So I'm like trying to fucking do what I can.
No, there's you with you. Now, guys, you have to know that every time I see Casey now, and it's a shock because this is a woman who I don't think drank water before the age of 35. I've never.
Sorry, I've been hospitalized 3 times for dehydration. Go on.
I've never seen her. And every time I see her now, it almost looks like a large baby bottle. Like it's as large as like a torso of water, but it sort of looks like a baby bottle. And she's always sipping it up. And
okay. You know how much disdain I have for women that carry water bottles.
Yes, I do.
That's like a problem for me.
Yes.
It's like, we get it. You like to be hydrated. Like, okay, we see.
Yes.
And it's not about the environmental. I love that aspect of it, but just the women that are clutching them so smugly, like, I just gotta fill this up again. It makes me angry.
No, me too.
But then my therapist said, perhaps that's me, finding fault with them and anger at them instead of simply hydrating myself, since I've had many medical things crop up due to no water. So I got this. It's called, no ad. It's an interesting name. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
What?
Queefit.
What? Queef?
Okay. Quifit? Q-U-I-F-I-T.
It's Queefit.
Queefit. Oh my God, I never noticed that because I never heard the name.
No, can I ask you a question? And this is personal.
Yes. Does it make you queef?
Have you been more queef prone?
No, queefing is just not a bit since then.
Not really, because maybe a queef is like a water, like, you know, when you just have a lot of water in your body and you got
queef it.
You gotta queef it.
Just queef it. This says build life on the big things says build life, but then the strap says queef it. And then it has these like lines going up and down it that are really embarrassing to try to remind you to drink. At 7 a.m. it says good morning.
No.
At 9 a.m. it says you've got this. At 11 it says remember your goal.
Ew,
and
gross.
At 1 p.m. it says that's it. And at 3 p.m. it says keep drinking. At 5 p.m. no excuses. 7 p.m. a little bit more. And 9 p.m. well done. I only get to you've got this. 9 a.m.
9 a.m.? All day. It takes you 9 a.m.
It's 11 and queef it. So look, these are Claritin, queef it, hashtag not ads.
Yeah, they're just ways
we love
to get you through the day. So another thing that's happened is that my daughter has begun to tell me, again, this is the second time in her life, that I am not her mother. Now, this is not the first time.
Okay.
This is the second time. I thought we had gotten over the hump. I don't know what I've done to her, but this morning she's like, so my mom is taking me today. And I'm like, where are we going? She's like, no, my real mom. Her real mom is a fairy that lives somewhere else, but she says that's her real mom. And she's like, my daughter's birthday is coming up in a few days. She's like, she gave me an early birthday present.
No, this is amazing. She's like using this fairy to like get you and make you jealous. She should be on the Real Housewives.
She is. She's a master manipulator. So that's what I'm dealing with today. And I have
what did her real mom get her?
Her real mom got her some jewels.
Oh, and what are you planning on getting?
A game.
Oh God, I wouldn't want you to be my mom either.
I know, I don't want me either, but she really needs
she's looking
games.
Around for anyone she could get her hands on.
And also some American Girl doll clothes, but they're not American Girl doll. They're the Target brand, the cheaper brand. But I tell her that they're American Girl.
You know what? I'm going to say what Marianne Williamson, former presidential candidate, always says about things like that, Danielle.
What does she say?
Everyone knows everything.
Ah!
We're all plugged into a collective unconscious, and she knows in her heart that those aren't real American girls.
And that's why she's telling me I'm not her real mom. She's like, if you're not going to give me real clothes, you're not my real mom.
Now, did you get the actual doll? Does she have an actual doll?
A Target American Girl doll. It's all fake. It's all.
What's it called? Like American?
It's called American Heritage. So
those things are too fucking expensive.
They're really expensive.
It's disgusting.
And it's all the same. And she doesn't fucking know. So I'm not.
No, I'm kidding you, but I salute this.
Yes. So it's all fake. All fake.
Ridiculous to spend that amount of money on a doll.
Exactly. But again, now she's not calling me her real mom. So what are you going to do? Now,
speaking of someone who spends a lot of money on dolls, I saw the David Foster documentary.
You did.
It was a strange segue, but I think it does work.
It
when I think about him with Yolanda.
And he does collect dolls, 5 marriages.
He does. I know, there's a lot going on right now in our time, and it's a very charged time. Mm-hmm. And I have taken all of my anger and funneled it directly at David Foster.
Really?
And if you watch this documentary, which I actually urge you to, if you want a safe place to put your anger and deposit it and yell at the screen, you will find a home here. Okay. So I see on Netflix, there's like a new David Foster documentary. And what I think is like, you know what? This is the last fucking thing we need to see another white guy's story about this like rich white guy story who makes the most schmaltzy music, the most uninspired music. Like every song he does is each artist's worst song. And the song he makes the muzak of the music industry. Okay.
Didn't he do I Will Always Love You? I mean, I know that was Dolly originally, but
okay. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Like, cause every other song is like the most embarrassing Josh Groban song and like great singers, but he's like forced them. And even they are like, David likes a different tone of, very heartfelt tone. Like nobody likes him. It's very clear. And so then he talks about Whitney's I Will Always Love You. And I was like, well, we got to give that to him. Come on. This is, and then he's like, now, of course, he's like the opening a cappella part, that part was Kevin Costner's idea. And then I'm thinking, right, but whoever created that boom and that beat in the middle, that's a genius. And he's like, and that, of course, was Clive Davis.
Really?
I'm like, what the fuck did you do then? He argued with Clive Davis that he didn't like that version. They argued for like a year over it. And Clive Davis finally said on the phone, I just said, David, this is the one, and put the phone down. And it went on to make him all the money to buy that weird clear fridge. He's the biggest fucking prick and the biggest asshole of all time. His kids struggle in every frame to figure out a way to like make him look nice. They're like, he wasn't there for us, but no, he did answer some of our calls. Yes, he did. He would answer our call. Wow. And he would just leave his families, leave all the kids behind. And then the way he rationalized it, he's like, yeah, I worked a lot, but yeah, what are you going to do? They're like, he never apologized. He just is such those guys. He is the embodiment of white privilege. He just dripping with narcissism, dripping. Although he also gives himself credit for being the first reality show, Princess of Malibu.
I watched every frame of that show.
And I'll give him that. Like, that's the piece of his career I will salute.
That's the piece. That's what you will give him.
Mm-hmm. Every artist, even Barbara Streisand, is like, David is really something. Like, they cannot find a kind word
what
to
does
say about him.
What does Kitty Cat McPhee say about
Kitty
him?
Cat basically trashes him. She's like, he is not evolved. He's not part of our generation. So she's like, Kitty Cat Foster can't think of anything nice to say. So she's genuinely, and it does seem like she's like attracted to him and she likes him, but she's like, I think I'm put on this planet to just help David become more evolved. He never wants to talk about his feelings and he's always really hurting people. And a lot of times I have to say, David, like that really hurt people. Yeah. It's just like endless people that have been put in front of the camera that he gave opportunities to, but they don't like him.
Interesting.
And I'm like, why are we doing a documentary about this guy?
I'm going to watch it.
And then he said, this is what he said about Yolanda. Okay. Now this is worth it.
Okay.
They're like, so David, you've been on 2 reality shows. So he takes a ton of credit for Princess of Malibu and they show clips of him on it where he is a monster. He just screams the whole time. Awful. And then he goes, I really didn't want to do Real Housewives, but I did that for Yolanda. He goes, and you know what? A lot of people try to tell me that I left a sick woman. I left her when she had Lyme disease and I left her because she was sick, but I left Yolanda for a reason that I'll never tell anyone about. And it's like so cryptic and dark.
What do we think it is?
I think it's that she had Lyme disease and she was sick.
Sorry. I'm not laughing at the Lyme. I'm just laughing at the fact that it's just
I feel like he's a master manipulator. He's like your daughter, with the fairy. Yes. And he's like pretending there's something so much darker because he's starting to he got an inkling that wasn't cool, that he left a woman who was very ill.
He did say he got himself a lemon. Didn't he say that? Or did she say that? There's a lot of symbolism of lemons that run
Then
through.
He goes, okay, sorry, last thing to know about this.
Please.
But so he's got all these kids. He even has a kid who he had when he was 18 that he put up for adoption, which is like, okay, that's what happened. But he's like, yeah, and I reconnected with whatever her name is. I'll make it up. He's like, I reconnected with Grace, when she was in her 30s. And, I don't have time for that relationship, but he just straight up is like, I don't have any time for that relationship. And he's a monster.
He's a monster. Yeah. Do you think that he and Kat will have kids? I hope not.
I do.
You do?
I do. And I love those foster daughters.
I know those daughters, but I just feel like
I find them so funny and charming and genuine and cool. I think despite David.
Yeah, obviously. He had no hand in raising them, it seems to me. I caught myself a documentary that was beautiful. Little documentary.
Powerful.
Showbiz Kids. Guys, get on it. It is done by Bill or Ted. Not Keanu Reeves.
The other one.
It is,
which I'm sure he'd love.
I'm sure he look, at least he has something we can call him. I have none of that. But it stars one Will Wheaton, Mara Wilson, Jada Pinkett Smith,
who is so captivating in it.
The
Red Table Talk is like, you got me into it. I'm obsessed.
Red Table Talk is the best show.
The things she's putting out there. It's like 1 minute we're hearing that, this rapper said that, he had an affair with Jada while she was with Will. Next thing we know, there's Will and Jada at the Red Table.
She takes herself to the Red Table. She's like, I'm going to take myself to the Red Table.
She's not afraid of anything.
She is not. I would never take myself to the Red Table. Are you kidding me?
I love her.
I love her. I love her daughter. I love her mother.
Love them all.
That show is the best
I know.
One of the best shows.
Get it on fucking Netflix.
Yes. I mean, but guess what? I don't need you, Netflix. I can watch it on YouTube. I'm fine.
I guess you're right. I'm having easy time accessing it.
Yes, there's no problem. I can watch it.
You're right. There's no problem.
There's no issue. It's the best show on TV.
Yeah.
That is not on TV.
Kids is amazing.
Yes. Will Wheaton, who I had a major crush on because, as you know, I don't go for like the hot, like I'm never the one that's going to go for the River Phoenix and Stand By Me. I'm always going to go for like someone I think I can get, like you did with Steve Sanders on Beverly Hills 90210. I'm never like, I'm always going to be like, who am I worthy of?
I think Will is an option for you.
I did. At
right.
the time.
No, now.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we're okay.
He seems a bit
angry. Yeah, there's some anger there in that.
And we all have anger,
of
clearly.
Of course.
But it is a very amazing documentary about child stars.
Yeah. So everyone get your eyes on it.
It's not as devastating as the documentary about child actors called Oakwood. Isn't that what it's called?
Yes,
Oakwood?
or think so. That was about like all those kids that live in the Oakwoods. But it's still got its devastation. Even just we're seeing baby Peggy, who's like this silent screen baby from the 1920s. And I think she was still with us when this was made. And she's amazing. It's
amazing. Wow, Danielle, we've covered a lot. I mean, you know what book I read last thing before we bring out our amazing guest that you told me to buy? I've read cover to cover in about 5 seconds is The Chiffon Trenches.
Oh, it's so good.
Andre Leon Talley's book about his time. I did not know, first of all, he comes from the Deep South, quickly gets himself an internship with Diana Vreeland, quickly becomes the receptionist at Andy Warhol's factory, an Interview magazine, then quickly goes to Women's Wear Daily, then works at Vogue for Anna Wintour. Like his career, what he has seen,
beautiful,
unmatched.
He touched, and I was crying during the book,
of course, multiple times. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I really like him.
Me too. And there's so much damage there, and he's been through so much. He seems world weary and with all right to be. And it broke my heart a little bit, but he's also a phoenix that keeps rising from the ashes. He's beautiful.
And someone that we've spoken about, a ton on our podcast for some reason. His best friend was Lee Radziwill.
I know.
And what's so interesting about that is he says that like his grandmother who raised him, that when Kennedy was sworn in and Jackie O wore that like famous pillbox hat or whatever the hell, it was that was like his first like light bulb moment of like, I love fashion. I love what I'm seeing. His grandmother kind of was taking her style, like some cues from Jackie O. And so he really grew up with that image in his mind. And then to kind of live your life best friends with Lee Radziwill. I mean, it's a sprawling story. Should I be a reviewer?
You should be. I mean, again, this is part of I know you guys always say it's not book sesh, but I believe we are sometimes.
Do people say that?
I think June said it to us.
Right. A dear friend said, I tried to bring up a book and she said, this ain't book sesh, Schneider, I believe was. Well, that sounds like her.
So
Danielle, I think we should take a quick break.
Me too.
Come back with a beloved guest. And then I'll just tease at the end of the show, we have a segment where we are going to cover Below Deck Med, which is we are just in the throes of. And so a special correspondent coming on to chat about Below Deck Med. We have a big show.
Big show.
We're back, and I just quickly want to point out, Danielle, over the break, our producer Dana told us she also has the Claritin port. Continue.
They're amazing. Guys,
they're everywhere.
Get your drugs and your pillows from the same place. Easy peasy. Now, our guest, he's a dear friend of mine. He is a hilarious writer. We worked together many years ago on telenovela together as writers. He's just a lovely human being. Please welcome Marcos Luevanos.
So great to have you, Marcos.
Thank you.
And to not be, I'm glad we're in a virtual nook. We're in our own little home nooks, which is important. We're safe. We're sound.
And that's really kind of how the world is. I feel like we're all not only in our own personal nooks, then we're then in like the own nook of our minds. We're in like little nooks we can't get out of.
The nook has become a prison, if you will.
And I wanted to say that. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
But you know what is a lovely prison? And I'm going to get right into it. It's Blue Stone Manor.
Blue Stone Manor. It's just the holiday that we all look forward to every year.
It is our holiday. Like for me, when I have to tell you guys, when I get to Blue Stone Manor and I drop my bags off and I come in and I'm welcomed by Dorinda and I find my room and I settle in with the big roaring fire and the grossest decor you've ever seen.
And even grosser now.
Even worse.
I would love to say that the money was poorly spent.
Absolutely.
I think it looked better when it was knee high in water.
Oh, me too.
But I love it there.
Me too. Now, and I love that she's leaned into the fish room of it all. So now there's like a shark, another fish. Like she's really leaned into. That's Dorinda. If you tell her you hate something, she's like, I'm going to do it more. Like, and I appreciate that.
Everyone gets a fish in their bed. It's a house full of fish beds.
Just a bunch of fishy smells.
Well, old vaginas.
Old vaginas wafting through Colin Cowie's dinner.
Oh, Colin Cowie.
I want to just quote Dorinda right off the bat.
Okay, please.
It really made me laugh because we weren't here last week to talk about the Berkshires. So we really need to get into all of it because it's so important. But as Dorinda said, let's relax, relate, reset. Where she gets these like weird kind of off slogans.
She's always like picking things off of like a meme somewhere.
But it's not like one everyone's passing around.
Yeah. She needs to put that on a pillow and then put that pillow on one of her hideous couches. Cause it's
what the fuck is happening with her testimonial with the color?
Oh, no.
So much color.
Also, Ramona's testimonial moved away from the fridge. Did anyone notice that? Maybe she got the note.
Was like Ramona.
We can't see your refrigerator and your oven anymore. We really need to. Someone online said, and I'm not sure, it was a listener sent me a comment, that why does the Beverly Hills testimonials still look amazing? Like, even though they're at home, but New York looks like it's like public access.
I think that's just the difference between Beverly Hills women and New York women.
They've got their pin lights and they're just.
I mean, even I have a fucking diva ring light and look at me. I think there's just, they don't mess.
They don't. Now, can we talk about what we're seeing in last week's episode? Because it was chaos from the jump, and it seemed to start with Lou not wanting to pay Sonia more than $200 for a performance.
For a performance, she probably makes $20,000 doing, when you say, Danielle?
I would say at least, yeah.
Absolutely. I went to one of the shows in Los Angeles and it was a huge theater and it was packed and it was not that great. I could have used some Sonia in it. I could have used a lot of guests in it.
You could have used some cabaret-esque.
Now, that was the other argument because, Luann was like, I basically started, cabaret. Like, that's basically her claim to fame. Like, I invented cabaret. And then I forget who was it pointed it out. Maybe it was Yummy Tummy who pointed it out. I can't remember.
I was all set not to see again.
It was Yummy Tummy, I think, that pointed out to Lou that Sonia has been doing cabaret forever. And then Lou was like, no, she was doing cabaret-esque, which is not a real thing.
See, that's why I hate Heather, because she was always the one pointing out things that were like, you misspoke. And I didn't need to see her again.
Same.
Nobody did.
Yeah. Who I do need, though, is Jill Zarin. I need Jill Zarin back on the show. I saw an Instagram live conversation between Luann and Jill Zarin where she was just talking shit about Ramona's 60th birthday or 60 whatever birthday party. And she was really going in. And that's who I need back on the show. Like,
because she wasn't invited?
Partially because she wasn't invited, but partially just because she was like, what woman in her 60s like acts like a 16-year-old, for her birthday party, like acts like a crazy immature teenager.
And it was a weird age to I believe she's 63, which is not an age that everyone's like, okay, it's this big 63rd. Let's throw a party.
Ramona is the most narcissistic human on earth, truly. But that opening of last week's Berkshires where they are screaming at each other, it was a sprawling scene. It lasted maybe like 10 minutes, just screaming, crying. We moved locations. We're in the kitchen. Then Dorinda suddenly saying, shame on you, which she loves to do. Mm-hmm. Dorinda loves to be like, shame on you, or like, she's suffering. What does she always say about each of the friends are always so sad?
Yeah, I forgot something, but she's like, she's in pain.
She's weak. She's weak. Don't you see? And then she immediately gets mad that she's like, I'm the one that had to stick up for you. It's like in the same breath, she'll defend someone and then is already mad that she had to, and that she's such a shit stirrer. She literally gets mad if other people aren't as mad as she thinks they should be about things. It's insane.
I don't even know who was mad at who in that fight. It changed so many times because everyone was mad at Lou for the money, but then Lou started crying, so then everyone was mad because Lou was crying and in pain.
And then Sonia tipped backwards in her chair. I mean, it was all.
Absolutely.
And then it was beautiful. It was like a Robert Altman film, like in an estate on a cold and stormy night. I was happy to be there.
But I'll tell you what I wasn't happy about. Why didn't the cameras follow to the bar? What are we doing?
Agreed.
Where's the fucking crew? This was pre-COVID.
Also, another thing, a few weeks ago, do you remember when Luann was getting massaged by that dog groomer who she was like,
sure.
Why didn't they follow her home to clearly see her call that guy and have him come over? Like, that happened. Or at least like seeing her make the attempt. Where were the cameras? What were they doing?
Where are the cameras?
24/7 on these bitches, guys.
I want fucking Apple Watches on their wrists, and even if it's just like waving around and shaky camera. Look what we're settling for now. Testimonials. Their taglines are done on voice memo.
Horrible. Who's writing?
You can't even hear them.
I
don't know, but Dorinda's new tagline, like a minute in my mouth. I can be a bit fresh. You guys had way better taglines on Hot Wives. I felt
right?
Fantastic.
Thank you, Marcos.
They were great.
Thank you, Marcos. I didn't write them, but thank you.
Well, Marcos wrote some of them. That's another thing. Marcos wrote some of them.
I did. I wrote a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he pitched us some and we used them. We used them like the users that we are.
So I love that I'm the one that said thank you, much like Ramona, but you two are the ones that did that. Great.
That feels right. That feels right up the alley.
Now, the way in which the makeup that happened between Lou and Dorinda is a master make-upper.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She knows how to put on the charm, how to make a joke, to blame it on the rosé.
And yet she has terrible makeup. Just FYI.
Very, especially after she's had a few drinks.
Yeah.
Like Joker level, like makeup smearing. It's not great.
It's not great. And, I don't feel like we spent enough time on Melinda.
Oh, Melinda. Yes. I think Sister Melinda, yeah. Santa Sister Melinda is the Rosie, is the new Rosie from Jersey. Like just like
someone we love,
just like, yeah, like I'm here. I'm no bullshit. I'm
here. I'm queer. Get used to it.
And I love her. And I would like more time with Santa's sister.
I would
Rosie.
like a lot more time with Melinda.
Yes.
She seems like a salt of the earth, just genuinely nice person.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I loved about that part. It felt like immersive theater. People were just coming and going and, doing random things. I would pay over $100 to just sit in the corner and watch whatever was going on.
It did
feel. What did you make of? Oh, go ahead.
It did feel like Tony and Tina's wedding. Like you're just going through the mansion, or and like you're just supposed to see scenes, vignettes that are going on, and see the show.
Oh my God, a murder mystery! Yes, like on the one corner we have a guy from the Red Line bar that Leah's picking up, and I did think he was cute.
Not for me.
The beard was
not
good.
For me.
The beard was
good. Yeah, I thought he was for that. Like to watch Dorinda, I mean, to watch these women, the way they act when not even a man, when a warm body shuffles in, the way they were acting towards Colin Cowie, I mean, all of it.
Oh, they were all like just snail trails of vagina juice towards Colin Cowie and away from Colin Cowie. Just
so gross. I just love being in the Berkshires. I love Leah with a passion. I love Leah, guys. I love her. She's my favorite housewife that is ever newest housewife we've ever had. I gotta be honest, I do.
Home run right out of the gate. I mean, she's like
home run,
instant all-star, perma housewife. Like let's petrify that apple and just like keep her on forever.
100%. And now she's in that weird ass like orange Spider Woman testimonial look.
That look, she's like a Cirque du Soleil dancer. Like I don't know what it is, but I know I love it. Like
it's a fun 90s delight look. It's great.
Yes. I feel like she really kind of has taken her own liberties with the testimonials. In one, she's simply in a sweatshirt. And you know, these are just not kind of the rules we're used to playing by. And I think that is the role Leah is playing for us now. In last week's episode, when sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, if you do notice that very simple sweatsuit she's wearing is a Kimora Lee Simmons baby fat sweatsuit, which I also appreciated and thought was a nice, fun throwback.
I really appreciate that.
Wow.
I really
Thank you for catching that, Marcos.
I analyze these episodes like the Zapruder film, just every week, and I go back, I rewatch, I do my homework.
I will be, for fun, going back and watching last week's Berkshires episodes. And then, Danielle, you were kind of like, and I hate to call you out, but you were like, oh yeah, this one's okay. It really kind of lifts off at the end of Ramona's party. And I disagree.
Really? Where did you, because last week's was such a triumph, was such, you know, it's like the penultimate of like Game of Thrones where you're seeing like, and this to me was like a little more of a come down, but where did you feel like it landed?
Because even right now with the New York episodes of like what you would call the packing, the transition episodes have so much to give us. Like we're at Dorinda's where Dorinda then comes out in this insane booby outfit and Dorinda's screaming that Leah should be wearing a thong. Like it's just fun. I can watch these women truly, truly do nothing. And then we have the scene at the gross spa with Leah. That spa, to see it post-COVID is really tough.
Now I've been
her and her sister, her sister is a little devil, little minx.
Mm-hmm. When her sister just casually is like, you know, mom doesn't like you.
That was
very casual, just hillside.
That to me was heartbreaking.
And then Leah's like, what? And she's like, no. I mean, she just thinks you've like had so much work done.
Oh, when she's like, you're too much work. And when she's like, I have only had my tits done and my lips done. I was like, that's a lot. Like,
no, she said she wants to get her tits done. That's coming.
Okay.
She just had her Botox and her lips.
Okay. But it's all part of the same package. Like,
Leah's mother, Bunny, sounds like really like not right.
Which is why we got to get her on the show. Get her on the show. More scenes.
I'm confused about Bunny because when I see Bunny, like little flashes of Bunny, she seems more of like an intellectual. I can't wrap my arms around this.
No, Bunny's rotten to the core. You don't say that about your own daughter to another daughter. I'm sorry. You're absolutely bad right. News. And I have no doubt she said it. And that's you're rotten. And I want to see you on my TV. Yeah. ASAP.
Rotten.
Now
Red Rover, send Bunny.
Now, I didn't know that Mario is in Florida full time. And that's
that is a new revelation. That was surprising.
And now I could have guessed it just by the redness in his face.
Yeah, by the leathery appearance of his skin.
And the tomato color.
But I got to say, that gave me a thrill. Because as a Floridian, I was like, I wonder if I could get him. What if I see him out and about? Like, am I in Florida right now? No. Do I plan on ever going until COVID is over? No. But I did see, like, I could see him out at at Club Boca and get a real, like, I think we could hit it off. I think we could be something. Am I married? Of course. Would I leave my husband? Never. But I do feel something strong towards Mario, and I'm happy he's in Florida.
He does seem like the type of guy who has like a hard out at age 25. Like he seems like no women above 25, but I don't know, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Marcos. And I'm thank you for you saying that, not me. Yeah. That was one of the most uncomfortable dinners. I find Avery to be rotten too. And I don't care who wants to fucking come at me for this. She is like, you can just tell she's Ramona's daughter. Ramona is the worst human I think we have on reality television, and I can tell it's just a little mini me. Leah is right. That party was just a full MAGA rally.
Yes.
And the way Avery was like, Mommy and Daddy, we're just like the Three Musketeers. I both felt badly, but also it was just so awkward. And Ramona, I feel like heard somewhere that it's cool to be consciously uncoupled and is like trying.
That's gross.
The one saving grace for Avery, I will say, is that she did raise 1.5 halfway decent parents. I will say she did. It feels like she is the parent in that relationship.
I know.
Well, from the book, The Ramona Coaster, which I read cover to cover, it does. And Ramona would never say this because she doesn't have any self-reflection, but it does seem that Avery really did raise that couple.
Okay. So I'm wrong about Avery.
No, just, she had a lot on her plate growing up.
I accept that. Thank you.
Now, here was a shock. I would like to get into some of Sonia's things that happened this week on the show.
Permishigas.
Permishigas. Now, Casey, you pointed something out to me. We all know that, well, first of all, Sonia was speaking at Wharton School of Business, which was a shock, an Ivy League school where people showed up to hear what Sonia has to say about business when we know she's
crowd did look half full.
Yes, but even for one or two students of this fine academy to show up and be like, I want business advice for this woman in a sinking townhome in New York that's filled with, whose
businesses have not made $1.
No, not a one. So that was funny. But then she, went to not sit Shiva, but attend to a woman her friend whose mother was dying. And
this is what she had to say about her friend's mother. They were waiting for her to pass. I think it was kind of like about the time. And Sonia says this about it. I was with her all weekend waiting for the other shoe to drop. And then, of course, she dies today.
It's extremely inconsiderate of that woman to pass away after Sonia.
Inconsiderate, Marcos.
Of that dying woman.
Sonia and her townhouse and her assistant and the toilet running and the way when she was talking to the carpet salesman, she is everything.
Mm-hmm.
She's another one. She's fantastic. I mean, never let her go.
Why is she sinking all this money to like redo the townhouse to make it look different? Is that going to work?
I think realtors are telling her, like, if you want to rent this place out, why doesn't she sell it? Why aren't we selling it? And have someone just rip it down. Like, I don't understand why we're trying to preserve. Is it the Morgan family townhouse? Like, I just don't know.
It has to be like bringing in more income. I don't know. It probably is her. I don't know.
Now, here's one of my favorite things. Okay, two things I have to say. Ramona has a sister? Was anybody else shocked by that? Shocked.
Who's never been on the show before. Never been on the show, never been mentioned. I don't believe.
Gorgeous. Looks surprisingly like her.
But I would say she's gorgeous. I was just like, gorgeous woman. And seemed normal. And no. Oh, disagree. And then this was my other favorite thing that Bravo did. And God bless. Mwah, 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 chef kisses to Bravo. How dare they count every single one of Ramona's friends as they walked in the door.
They were going to do it.
Knew it.
I don't know about you guys. I had anxiety the whole time. 50 women in their 60s dancing on carpet and heels. I mean, that's an ER accident waiting to happen.
Yes. And in front of this bar, and it was so sad when Ramona was like wanting everyone to see what the bar said, but everyone was standing in front of it. She's like, look at that. Look how cute. Ramona. It says Ramona. I'm like, that Ramona's just a very deeply, deeply sad person. But unfortunately, I think she's so unself-aware that she's actually quite a happy person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the dream.
Bugs me.
That's the dream. I hope I could be as unhappy and happy as Ramona.
And that party was so fucking ugly. Did you see on all the tables? Did you guys ever go to those crunch gyms where they had those horrible hand chairs?
Yes.
Like there's like an arm and a hand. And it's like he puts these on the table. I thought it looked so gross.
It was awful. And that sort of thing, like, it's Ramona's living room. Everyone comes to Ramona's. I bet none of those women have ever hung out at Ramona's. She is not a hangout person at all.
And that doesn't roll off the tongue like, come to Ramona's living room.
No.
Like.
Not at all. The one thing is she probably didn't have to pay anything for it because she got Dorinda and Sonia to take those pictures at the party place a few weeks ago. So it was likely a free party, but it still looked like shit. It was not it at all.
Yeah, not a dime.
I know Ramona's done a lot of things, but it is deeply weird that she wanted Leah to not come with her boobs out. And then when Leah did show up, she was like, oh okay. It's like a Christopher Guest character. She's like, hey, good. I'm glad you didn't have this when men were around, okay? Because like, it's okay because women are here to eat like this, but no men. Ramona's so competitive. I think she's such a like vindictive person and such a scared person.
It's weird. Like, it's truly dark and it's truly unsettling.
I did love that she put out that mandate that she was the only one who wasn't gonna, everyone else come in black and white, but only she was gonna wear red or pink, I'm not sure. But I love half of her friends just ignored it. They were like, fuck that. We're not doing it.
God bless them. They didn't.
Did you see how disinterested? And I know they probably like focus on this for editing, but I actually don't think so. They were doing like sweeping crowd shots. When Ramona was speaking, people looked like giving her no respect. Like, and of course our women, and it was like a fucking repeat of the battered women's shelter speech. but where Dorinda kept just like grabbing the mic, which is shocking.
Mm-hmm.
But Ramona's friends just kind of looked like, well, they just had no respect for her. Except for like Dottie and Ellen and like
that one who wore the headscarf. What is her name again? I wrote it down. What was her?
Liza Minnelli.
I love her.
Barbara.
Like something. Yeah, it is like Liza Minnelli. What was her name? I love her. Arlene. Her name.
Arlene. It is truly wild the amount of times Ramona's like, yeah, I have 50 friends. Yeah, 50 friends is who you call every single day. And they look up to you. And it's just so.
And then Sonia. Oh, can we all talk about that? Sonia got booted out of a club after singing Hello, Dolly. I can't believe he ran away from that.
Out of not just a club, a gay club, which is very hard to get kicked out of, from speaking from personal experience.
Especially like if you saw Sonia Morgan, I would think that's a perfect person in a perfect setting. What can go wrong here? Like if anything, we want to see her singing Hello. What happened?
No idea. You're absolutely right, Casey. Someone like, her or like the both of you walk into a gay bar. You have carte blanche to basically do anything. You can go behind the bar.
Nicest thing I've ever heard.
It's true.
That would be
You could
amazing.
go behind the bar and start making drinks or just, find the deed and scribble out the person's name and write your own. Like you could basically do whatever you want. So it had to be pretty bad.
It had to be pretty bad. I mean,
I can't imagine. I would love to know. Whoever knows was there that night.
Tell us.
Please tell us because I can't.
If you were there, I know you're listening to this.
You're the only one listening to this.
We know you're here.
But again, where were the cameras? We know they were there. They got the Wharton Business School shit. Where were the cameras at that gay bar? We want to see that.
You don't say to yourself, I want to see Sonia drunk off her ass go out. I mean, why are we having to like listen to a Page 6 headline? That's not fair to us.
No. Okay. Even if we had these women wearing remember on those prank shows, everyone had to wear those glasses. Like if we could just have those women in those glasses all the time just to get their view of it, that's fine too.
Right.
I need it on them all the time.
Now, when Ramona came down the stairs in those sparkles, okay, we have to say what Akilah emailed us.
Oh, it's so funny.
Okay. Well, first, Akilah Green, our friend, was just emailing us about Sonia at the party. And she's like, Sonia with that sparkle dress, just taking her fur on and off. Just kept taking it off, putting it right back on.
And with a tag on it. Let's not forget it had a tag on it, of course.
Always a tag. She's so consistent with that tag.
Akilah simply said, an email, nothing else. There was no coat check at Ramona's party. Not a thing. She didn't say anything else. She just, I felt like that was so simple and clear and hilarious.
It says so much.
Volume.
Ramona doesn't think about other people. It's all about her. It doesn't matter where their coats are. I thought Leah looked beautiful. Gorgeous. And that whole description of the nude slip that was under it and the beautiful green coat. I just love Leah. But I will say, when we were getting to the end of the episode, before we saw the dancing, okay, it was just they show up next before the commercial, and I saw Leah dancing with that tablecloth. I said out loud in my room to no one, oh no. I've never spoken aloud. I just don't know. I was like, I got so nervous. I'm like, oh my God, Ramona's going to be mad.
And she was. She was so mad. Be like, to stop the production, to be like, I want the producers. I want what with I couldn't understand why she was so upset because it wasn't about her.
Get it. I don't know. She probably sunk a ton of money. This is her thing. She was so excited. She was having a great time. And then this girl, Leah, who she's already pissed about. I don't get it from a sane person's perspective, but she's already sunk all this money. And Leah, she's jealous of. And here she turns and she thinks this girl is déclassée, which is just comical given who Ramona is. But then to see them all, I mean, it was a bit, and I don't want to be a grandma here, okay? But they were.
Did I think I saw some vaginal lip? Yes, I did. I believe I saw a vagina lip. And yet, it was a blast. Yeah.
It was a blast. No one's denying that. But then did you see when Elyse came over? Her body language is as though she was going to break it up and pull them all off each other. And then she just got right in.
That's what I like. It pulled you in like a black hole. It was just And
guys, when I have not laughed so hard as when Ramona started stomping on that glass coffee table and breaking it.
Yes.
It's because there was carpet and she needed a hard surface to dance on. I don't blame her for that. She's just trying to keep her ankles intact.
You're right.
you know.
And they refused to put a dance floor.
They did, but they said, well, we're not going to have a dance floor. We're just going to have people dance in place.
But did you hear even the producer was like, Ramona, it's okay. And she's like, she went fucking nuts.
She threatened to quit the show. She threatened to quit the show right then and there.
Which they all knew.
People were like, okay.
Yeah, this is a hollow threat. Hollow.
But I think we are, and God bless them because they keep this train rolling. Like we're going to finish that scene and take our asses right to Mexico.
Thank God.
Yes.
That's what New York does so well.
Yeah, we're not packing for a full episode like Beverly Hills. We're already in Mexico. Lou is in another bush.
And you know what I love about New York, which Beverly Hills does not do at all, which is New York the season isn't building to something. You know what I mean? There's thing. Everything's its own episode. Everything's its own. Beverly Hills, we've been building to this fucking Denise Richards things for 7.5 years. You don't care by the time it happens.
No, we're literally waiting. We're watching something to wait.
We're watching an iceberg melt. I can't.
Beverly Hills, I feel like, has one word that they focus on all season, whereas like New York, it's just like 100 words all season. It's great.
100%. And I have to say, I don't miss Bethany in the slightest. I'm having so much fun. I'm loving the Dorinda, Luann, Sonia kind of triumvirate of like 1 week. One of them's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to watch her. And they like all decide the other one's heartbreaking. And
which is also so passive aggressive because you're like, your life is worse than mine.
Totally. And when Dorinda does this whole thing of like, I'm your raft. I'm your raft. Like, you didn't have a raft at Blue Stone Manor when the waters came down.
You should have floated yourself on out of there. You're such a raft.
I just love it. I cannot wait. I'm warming to Elyse, especially after that cameo that she put out where she said Ramona shits on people while having sex.
Fantastic. I have a theory about Elyse. I have a theory that Elyse is a ghost who died in the late 1800s, and that's why Ramona can't see her. She's not ignoring her. She just can't see her because Elyse is a ghost.
Wow. It's the Sixth Sense. That would 100%. Be a season.
Only some of the women can see her because she's a ghost.
The more like open women. And that's why maybe Leah is kind of like a fresher take, has become friends with her.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow. Oh, well, gosh. When Ramona says next week in the preview, she goes, she's on bipolar and alcohol doesn't mix with that. Is she talking about Leah?
I think she's talking about Leah.
Because I would come for someone I would truly like... you wouldn't know the amount of lawsuits I would come for them physically. If someone told my like mental health business, I mean, you wouldn't see the end of it. I thought that was so below the belt. Or am I wrong? And this stuff always goes on?
But that's how if you go on these shows, people are going to be in your business and they're going to use anything they can think.
They're like presidential candidates. Yeah. Like, you better not have anything in your past.
Yeah. It's bad if it's true and it's bad if it's not true. Like, it's bad both ways, you know?
Yes.
Should we take a break and come back for Beverly Hills?
Yes. We're back with Beverly Hills. Marcos, what are you feeling about Beverly Hills this season?
No, it's interesting because, like, first of all, let me just say I love Garcelle. I'm obsessed. She's fantastic, but she's kind of in her own show. Like, she's doing her own thing, which again I don't hate, but like she really brings a breath of fresh, as you lovely ladies say. And I feel like I wish she was just involved a bit more because we're getting Sutton, who again, to quote Ramona, is a non-event, in my opinion. And, we're just not getting as much, I think, as we could. But, I'm intrigued. I will say, the Avengers Endgame style party that Kyle had where a lot of the OGs were back.
Avengers Endgame?
That's exactly what it was.
It really was.
People are coming back. They're cropping up. Now we're getting Brandy in a fucking testimonial. Like, now this was at least the episode.
Yes.
We finally just to frame it, like we've come to something. But leading up to it, we don't have a ton. We've got Dorit's veneers.
Dorit's veneers are distracting, you guys.
I don't care that Dorit speaks Italian.
Well, every good scam artist has to know at least 5 languages. So, that makes sense that, she speaks Italian. And,
right, Marcos. You do think she's a scam artist?
I do a little bit, only because I feel like she's leaning into it herself, like with her Hamburglar confessional outfit, is like... Like she's kind of like giving you subtle winks and nods. Like that's, I think that's what she's doing.
She is always dressed like Anne Hathaway in a spy movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a spy, like cartoonishly a spy. I also was glad that this episode gave us all of these women, all of our elders singing to Wilson Phillips. That gave me a real
I just feel like, is that going to be us in 20 years if like the Indigo Girls played a charity concert?
Tomorrow. Okay. And I've been at that.
Carney Wilson has had many stints, and I love Carney on. That's been fun.
I once saw her at Cedars-Sinai in an elevator while I was pregnant, going up to the doctor's office, and she had the whole, like, she commands any room / space / elevator that she is in. She just was talking in her time. Like, what is happening? That. No, she was a blast. Even
I will say, like, COVID, nobody shares this opinion, but I do feel Carney would share this opinion with me, which is like, and Jessica St. Clair, we talk about all the time, like. Everyone else is like, the only nice thing about COVID is I don't have to make small talk with anyone. I'm like, and that's what I miss the most. Yeah. I am Paul Wilson's daughter. If I see a stranger, I'm yelling at him across the whole park, like, nice weather! Like, I need to connect with people and talk to them about nothing.
Same. The amount.
No, sorry.
I was just saying the same. The amount of Lyft drivers that I've, given free counsel to and lent an ear to is, I miss it. It's really, they're giving me a gift and I miss it.
I miss it. The idea of me like clicking don't want to talk in the Uber, how you can now click like you rather not talk, is sacrilege. I would never do that. I miss shooting the fucking shit with strangers and having a laugh.
Me too.
I guess that's what we're doing here, but
yeah, I miss like on my dog walks, just walking my dog and talking to neighbors. Now I avoid them like the plague. Anytime they come near me,
because there is a plague.
Yeah. And they have it, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they have it. Yeah. Really quick, everyone, please wear a mask so my son can go to kindergarten, you fucking selfish assholes. Let's continue.
Thank you.
100%.
You want to go to a bar, but children need to go to school.
Right.
Now, can we?
Speaking of girls who don't go to school.
Amelia
Gray is a spoiled fucking girl.
Listening to her fucking talk about what she wants in a house made me physically ill. Like the feeling that went in my body.
Me too.
Like I was angry. I was hot.
I loved that she was describing a home that was better than the one she currently lives in, which is... What are you doing?
Well, she lives in a haunted house, a scary mansion. The way Lisa, and I love Lisa and have respect for her. And when Lisa said, like, how did I raise these monsters? Like, I don't know, because I really like Lisa. And I don't know, she was so, and she's like, I went in gym, but it can't be on the bottom floor and I can't have a keypad. I was just like, was that Kyle's daughter who was the realtor?
Yes.
Yes.
She's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
She has her head on straight. I like her.
Yeah. All of those Richard's kids seem to like, they go to, go to school or they go to work or both. Like they all, even if it's the family business, everybody's working. What's
her name as a child star? They're doing something.
Portia.
And instead Amelia Gray's like, it needs to have a pretty refrigerator and the pool needs to have a cabana. I was like, you're disgusting. I'm sorry. But gotta say, it did raise a little bit of a red flag for me when Lisa was petting their dog and saying, you're so chunky.
I agree. Body shaming the dog, not cool, not good. Don't do it.
Sort of worried me.
Yeah, I hear that. That. Now, speaking of dogs, when Brandy was in the car, sitting, being made to stay outside, like a dog in a car. And they were like, she's outside? Yeah,
they cracked the window.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, bring her in.
Was that planned, guys, or no?
I mean, come on. Of course it was. It happened.
But guys,
I'm so naive.
I'm so naive because I was like, wow. This, because I was like, she's sitting in the car. Wouldn't she have just brought her in if it wasn't planned?
I was like, this just happened and it's crazy.
I was like, put a mic on her. Like she didn't already have a fucking mic.
Guess they did have a camera on her in the car.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's why I watch these shows, because I believe everything and I'm happy to believe everything.
So let's get to it. Brandy comes in and I do feel her new look. It's a lot. to take the changes of her. It's a lot. It just makes me, I don't know. I've always said this. There's something so dark about her. It really like unsettles me.
Oh yeah. I'm terrified of Brandy.
Me too. And I actually don't want to say very much. Yeah, me too. Oh, sorry. My alarm's going off. Hold on. Sorry guys. Yeah, I'm scared of her too. And I want to remind new listeners and old listeners that the premise of this podcast is that we do not tag any of the housewives in it based on our comments. Let's keep all these discussions between ourselves. Happy to debate them all within our little group of friends. But reminder, no tagging just while we're here.
We want to keep talking about them.
Feels like some of you need some reminders.
Yeah, few reminders.
Anyway,
so we
Brandy's
get to
on the bed. Yep. Then what happens, Danielle?
And then she's like, I'm shaking. I need some water. Much like Casey drinking out of her
Queef
her Queef It water bottle. Brandy needs to queef it, get saturated with water, get hydrated. And then she's like, well, I don't like cheating. And I, it's like, I would never cheat with someone and I hate cheaters. And my whole platform is cheating, no cheating, no cheating. I've done a lot of stuff. I'll never cheat. And then she's like, so I made out with Denise that night that they went out, supposedly. And that first night that we saw. And then she brought her up and like groomed her basically. Like, oh, sorry, you'll have your own room. Oh, wait, there's no room. Oh, wait, there's no pullout. Guess we'll have to sleep together. Sounds real creepy. I don't love it. With the daughter
downstairs. Yeah.
The daughter downstairs. And then basically has sex with her, like groomed her for sex. And then the next morning revealed to Brandy that Aaron actually didn't know about this. Please don't tell Aaron. I will get in such big trouble. And that broke Brandy's heart because she's not a cheater. So that's basically
fucked up. It is a different situation to think I'm having sex with someone that's in an open marriage versus I'm not.
Yes, of course. But of course, to have sex with Brandy and then tell her not to tell anybody, well, that's on you.
100%.
That's on you.
Yeah. Very, like she's podcasting while you're having sex with her. Like,
Yes.
that it's not going to stay with her for like more than 5 minutes.
She was like, oh, when do you guys start filming? Okay. And then I love how Brandy was like, or Kim with that insanely tight top pony. Unfortunately. And then she's like, Brandy, no, it was wrong what she did. Brandy, no. And then like coming over and holding her hand and like holding her. I was like, Kim is a wicked little wicked.
Yeah.
And then after she confesses, Kim says, I'm going to do some Reiki on her later. Nothing is more upsetting.
Wow. The alliance between Kim and Brandy is it's a dark one in that, like, when there's like people are shunned from groups and then those two people come together, it's social, like it's what happens. But something about that alliance feels like so dark for Kim. I don't want that for Kim.
No, me neither.
She can do better. She can do better.
And that was the episode. Like, that's all we really built to. We also saw
the look on Kyle and Teddy's face. And Kyle is so right because, okay, so really quick, Denise apparently also said that she's pissed that Teddy just needs the show because, she's been in her dad's shadow. But then we get this bombshell that Denise has been sleeping with Brandy. They leave. Kyle turns to her and Teddy's like, I can't believe what she said about my dad. Like,
nobody cares.
And Kyle goes, I'm talking about the other stuff. It's like, yeah.
But also, who hasn't said that about you, Teddy?
Right.
Like, when have you not heard that? That's what I'd like to know. When have you not heard that you're not in your dad's shadow?
I did like Teddy's pink hair because I thought it made her blue eyes pop, and I hate to have to say that.
I hate that you said it.
I also feel like I was not, have never been a big Teddy fan, but I will say at the beginning of the season, mean Teddy, when Teddy was mean to Sutton, that I was like, I think I like you.
You like that?
I think I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I did also shout out to when Garcelle just simply asked Sutton, how do you have that much money? I was like, I love you. I love you. Just how do you have it?
That was such a great moment.
I'm excited and I'm really glad that they get Denise marooned in Rome before they ask all this, but I bet you she gets right back on a plane and leaves.
Well, and it seems from what I'm reading on the boards or on the blogs that the reunion just happened and that there was some sort of cease and desist that Denise has put out there and it's stopping everything in its tracks. So that's disappointing.
Then stop me in my tracks from finishing this season.
Yeah, we need to
Then I put out a cease and desist to Bravo.
I did love in the clip. I really hope that Lisa Rinna was wearing one of her adult diapers when she heard the news because she came like 6 times when she heard about that about them having sex.
Yes, she did. This is her time to shine.
Really.
And then Erica with that weird veil that like Madeline Kahn was wearing in Clue. And I know when she's like, is it true you called me cold? Oh, guys, this has been wonderful.
Lovely.
I mean,
guys.
we covered it, and Marcos, you're a doll.
Thank you. I will say one thing, we also saw Kris Jenner in that party, which I don't understand why Bravo doesn't back the truck up and just let it go, let all of the bills go and get Kris Jenner on the show. Because they've already fired half of their problematic stars. They have the money. And
they're there. And let's get Corey on camera more.
Yes,
and let's,
Yeah, let's do it.
Agree. I would like to see Faye Resnick, Kyle, Kim, and Kris Jenner on a show.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much, Marcos. You have been wonderful. Tell us where we can find you on social media.
Yeah, I'm basically just at Beyonce's best friend on Instagram. That's me.
I love that. I love that so much.
Thank you, Marcos.
Before we switch over to my Below Deck segment, I'm just quickly put in a plug. Happy Endings did a brand new episode. We shot it over Zoom. It's actually genuinely hilarious, edited so fucking well. It seems like a genuine new episode, which it is. And you can watch it on YouTube, even though I previously put them down. When it comes to Red Table Talk, you can watch it, and it's raising money for Color of Change and World Central Kitchen. It's such a funny episode. I'm just proud to be in it, and I want everyone to watch.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you, Marco.
Thank you, Marcos. Thank you, Claritin Pillows.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, well, let's head on over for some Below Deck commentary, and I'll see you later, Danielle, because I'm going to tackle this one on the high seas alone.
Yeah, I wouldn't go on that journey with you.
Yeah.
So this is a very special segment, and we've brought in a correspondent from across the country because we brought in Blair Beeken to discuss a show that many of you have called for me to get into. I can't describe the amount of people that want me to get on the boat. They want me to get below deck. Now, Blair, I've only gotten below deck med. I haven't traveled to the other seas yet. So I've dipped my toe in the waters, if you will, and I'm caught up on below deck med. I love Captain Sandy. The season is in full bloom right now. What are your thoughts on this season, Blair? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's good to be back. My thoughts on this season are, honestly, it's kind of a boring season so far, I would say. Captain Sandy is not giving it her best, I feel like. There's not enough partying. There's not enough hooking up. So I'm kind of left with this last episode, we didn't see them party at all. They didn't go out, it was all about the guests. And I'm not necessarily here for the guests.
I'm not there to work.
Right. Or to see them work.
I'm there to play.
Exactly.
I'm there to see them change in their little bunks. I want them to go out. And I feel the release when they go out and party of I've worked a full week.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm whoo, thank God. I'm done cleaning that exterior.
Yeah. And it's 48 hours of work. And, another thing I'm struggling with this season is I live for a boat romance, and I'm not necessarily connecting to the Rob and Jessica one. There's not enough drama. I think you know this about me, but I don't like watching sober people on reality shows.
Yeah, me too.
I support that journey in real life. Great. But I don't want to see them on reality TV, and I don't.
That's what I said. There's no place for that here.
No, I don't want to watch them on TV, and I don't want to date them. But I'm proud of him. And so Rob, he's sober, so he's not getting fucked up. He's not, we thought that we were going to get a taste of drama when Hannah outed him for being in a relationship.
We got nothing.
Oh no, he actually, yeah.
It's she knows about it. And I feel like he's got a real vacant stare that's kind of spooky. Mm-hmm. Little something spooky in that skeletal stare.
Yeah,
just giving me not much. It does make me laugh when she's struggling to open suitcases with a broken finger. I do like that about her.
Yeah, when she had to get a bunch of wine glasses this week, and it looked like she was just putting them into a little plastic grocery bag rather than carrying them on a tray.
Yeah. I want to say something, and this is a sweeping statement, but it is the fucking truth. There are and we've covered every ilk of reality person and garbage people on the show, but there are no more garbage people than the guests on Below Deck Med. They take the motherfucking cake. They are disgusting people.
I think like the worst, would you agree? The worst was the group of people from New York, like 3 episodes ago with the guy with the dog who had to.
Oh my God. He had to keep his dog with a babysitter on shore.
Yeah.
Watching him hold that dog and stroke her and knowing he paid for this whole thing with women, it was clear he didn't really know. It was so upsetting.
Yeah. What is that? What makes someone want to do that? The dog. And then he had the dog on the jet ski at one point. It was tragic.
Tragic. It was tragic. Oh my God. And then seeing him like pretend to be an adult when they like pulled him in and when they were like, are you okay with all the service? And he was like, yeah. Yep. I was like, what's happening? How does this guy have money? Like all of it. And
I was going to say, one of my favorite seasons was actually Below Deck Sailing Yacht previously. And there was an episode on that where they thought the guest had cocaine. And so they confronted him and they like tore open all of his bags in a search for cocaine. And there wasn't any.
Oh.
I don't know what just made me think of that, but
well, it's equally upsetting and sad.
Yeah.
Now,
pathetic.
Kiko is the chef, and I need more. I love Kiko. He's just too nice of a person. He's such a sweetheart. Like Kiko is someone I would meet and like treasure and think is such a lovely soul. But again, for a chef, he needs to get those portion sizes up.
Yeah, like when I'm I was just say when I'm watching, I'm usually hungry, and so when I see him just bringing out a few sushi rolls or something, I'm
couple
like,
tapas. I'm like, Kiko, come on. Where's the fucking buffet? I'm paying thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
That said, I fucking hate those guests that are like that one fucking asshole from last week that was like treating him like shit and just being like, this sucks. And I was waiting for my oysters and this, that, and the other. He's a piece of shit, that guy. And
totally.
we will hear about him in the news and be like, yeah, we knew.
But
he will resurface on a national scale.
Well, there's always people like that. Like the guys will like manhandle like a stewardess or something. That's like run of the mill on this show.
Run of the mill. Now, no more white casts have we ever had than in Below Deck.
Oh my gosh.
Staggering.
Yeah, I mean, the straight white misogynist. It's out of control. The last season of Below Deck with Captain Lee and Kate.
I'm not familiar with Captain Lee and Fursuit Kate. Is that one better than Med?
Well, I would say the last season.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to stop because I just saw you and our producer at that question turn your heads and stare up to the heavens like, huh? Like, let me really ponder that one.
I would say maybe Kate's can have, let's say, as you and I have discussed, Hannah's a little checked out, right? So
where is Hannah this year?
Yeah,
she needs to come back to us. She's not with us. She's got a boyfriend ashore.
And
now she's pregnant. Oh, I know. I've scoured the internet. Scoured.
Same, I just did.
And I really have a love for Hannah. And I know you frequently remind me she's a terrible person, but I really am happy for her. I'm going to miss her on the super yacht.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I don't know what this show could be without Hannah. Like if they're bringing in Bugs to take over.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I think I'm
fest. Bugs and Teddy Mellencamp can just go overboard, if you know what I mean. Okay, what are the things? Then I'll just lift up the shackles or whatever the fuck what are the terminology they always use about the shackles?
Like three shackles up.
And then we watch as though we know what's happening. And I feel like they can pretend it's more dramatic than it is because they know we don't know what the fuck is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Malia.
I mean, I'm impressed every time they park that thing, though. I'm always like, loving it.
I'm not. I'm like, yeah, it just doesn't seem that hard. And I know that's upsetting and I know I'm wrong. But like sometimes I'm like, it's moving so slow. Like,
yeah.
And I know that's part of the challenge.
Yeah. I just don't feel like Sandy's doing that much.
Well, Sandy is doing a lot in terms of the show. And I'm so sorry to keep using boat words, but she's the anchor big time, There's been no more generous, I've said this a million times, more generous, sparkling, nice, normal person, I think, on reality. And I actually like that person in Sandy's role. Like Sandy sober, that's where I want. I love her. You can tell she's just so beautifully like evolved, and I feel like her higher power is actually running Below Deck.
Yeah, I actually forget that she's sober, and so I think that says a lot about how good her personality is.
You're going to get in trouble for that, Blair, and we've been getting in a lot of trouble lately. I don't want to remind people what you said last time.
Honestly, Casey, I stand by it, and I think that it actually, I don't want to get into it, but I think that it actually holds up right now.
You look energized. You just like jumped forward.
Well, I've thought about it.
Okay. Well, I will remind guests and new listeners that last time Blair Beeken was on the show, she found out, when Lisa Vanderpump's been doing her documentary, all of this about the Yulin dogs and how they eat dogs, Blair doesn't find that to be a big deal.
I said, who are we to say what animals other countries eat? And then people were saying to me, like, they abuse the dogs. And to that I say, I don't know what the fuck is going on with the pigs before we eat them. Can I say this?
Look, this is an open forum and we'll hear about it. So
yeah, I just think who are we to say?
I will be punished for your comments. You
know what? And I kind of want to retract that because it's, I don't think that, I don't want harm on dogs.
So I see actually the distinction you're saying is not that you want to actively eat dogs or that I know you never wanted that. And I know you love dogs, but you're more just like, we can't police. We're eating meat over here. And who are we to?
Yeah. And this, I
think it just was kind of shocking when viewers and listeners first heard.
And I was saying, I was coming from a place of like, what a privilege that the cause that you're fighting for is to go save dogs in China from being eaten when there's so much more to worry about here. Like, how is that? Like, I don't know. You know what? Maybe I should talk about it.
Okay. Well, we'll gracefully move on. We'll paddle away from that.
Yeah.
So I know I appreciate your boldness, Blair. You're the best. Now, you know a little something about having a broken finger because we were in a workout class together when you dropped a dumbbell on your hand.
Yeah, I did.
I tried to blame on someone else.
I still do. It's why I don't. I do blame somebody else. I blame someone.
Someone we both know.
Yeah, and somebody left their weight underneath my bench. So when I went to put my weight down, well, I guess I should say under our shared bench. It was hers as well.
Right.
My finger got stuck between the two and it exploded.
It did quite literally explode.
Yeah. And I was like Jessica for weeks, months, actually.
And then like a couple times you like really nicely came to the workout and just sat in the corner and cheer us on.
I did not. I wanted to.
I thought you did once. I have a memory of that. That must have been a fever dream.
We talked about it maybe because I was in deep in that exercise cult and
as was I, yeah.
And I couldn't. I was like, well, surely I'll still show up for the group, for the girls.
Well, I think we told this story before, but I was really laughing the other day about how, like, I'm such a sugar addict and I love, and, part of the cult was that, like, we eat certain delivery foods and we don't eat a lot and, et cetera. So we'd been pretty good for like how long? A month or so, and doing our 3 workouts a week. And it was like a whole thing. And everybody cheered. We high-fived. It was all done.
I probably cried.
Yes. People were still stretching, hugging, saying their goodbyes. I was already in my car, whipped a Yui across the street in the McDonald's drive-thru, which I honked at everyone with my cone out the window as I saw people like literally just gathering their things still.
It was like we walked out of the gym doors and there were you pulling out of the drive-thru, hand out the window, cone in hand.
Okay, now let's get back. So what do you think about this piece of shit who's on the deck team? What the fuck is his name? Pete, who was fired?
Pete. Yeah.
He's such a piece of shit. I mean...
He is. He looks like a thumb. Yeah. So one thing about Pete, my thought is, so last season on regular Below Deck with Captain Lee and Kate and the bosun, his name was Ashton, and he was a disgusting pig, and all him and another guy on deck, Brian, and the disgusting chef were all so gross and so misogynistic, and they did awful things like Ashton was like shoving his tongue down the chief stew's throat, stuff like that. And Captain Lee didn't know about it, and he didn't do anything about it, but then it like came up big time in the reunion and online and everything like that. So I almost feel like that's why this season that they're going like female heavy, they're coming down on Pete hard, because that kind of behavior in the past, it has been fine. It shouldn't.
I do like
be,
the way
obviously.
Captain Sandy is handling this, because Captain Sandy and Malia have a very special bond. Now, I find Malia incredibly boring, but I'm proud of her.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Really proud of her.
I am too. I think she's really good at her job. I don't want to watch her.
No.
So we'll throw
And now
her in there.
I'm just going to ask, Malia has a boyfriend?
Yeah. Because she seems like she might have a girlfriend. Say that.
I'm wondering. I'm asking you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you walked me there to finish that, and
yes, I did.
I think that it's kind of like when you are working on a TV show and there's a bunch of girls working in production. They all seem gay.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Now, I will say the three guys are such fucking assholes. She tells them to do one fucking thing and they can't do it. They all are spinning out about the fact that they have a female boss. It is like such a sad thing to witness and watch. It's like, oh, here is America right here. Like they're so fucking threatened. She'll be like, hey, hand me that rope. And they're like, what rope?
Yes. Oh, like when Pete goes, I will the shackle, super important shackle or something. And it's like, just fucking do it.
Do it and shut the fuck up and stop calling her sweetie, you little piece of shit.
Ugh. And everybody on that boat is passive aggressive. It's like, that's how everybody communicates with one another. Like no one is straightforward. No one can handle authority, men or women. It reminds me of when I was like an administrative assistant and someone would ask me to do something. They'd be like, Blair, the soda's getting low. Can you refill it? And I would be like, what? You can refill it. Like, you know.
Even though that was your job.
That was my job. Yeah. but yeah, I just
like you were upset that they would think to ask you.
Yeah. I mean, now in my 30s, if someone were to be like, the soda's low, I would be like, let me get it. I just think it's like an immaturity thing too.
Yes. Yeah. They all seem shocked someone's asking them to do anything. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just seems like continually shocking to them. I do give them props for living in those weird ass rooms. I would think the bed was going to fall on me with people they hate. They just get up there and that's where they live. And I am admiring of that.
Yeah, you know, I lived on a cruise ship, right?
I do.
Yeah.
And were you in rooms like that?
Yeah. I mean, for a little bit, I was in a crew or in a passenger cabin, and so I did have a roommate, another gal, and
a passenger, a fellow performer,
another Second City performer, and we were on where the passengers lived. But then I switched down to where the crew lived, and I had my own little room. But those tight, weird quarters, yeah,
very tight.
Interesting.
There's something about Below Deck. I don't know why I find it sort of soothing, even though it's terrible. It's almost like the Muzak of Bravo. Like it's just like little gnats and they're nammering. They're trying to get their picnic set up and they can't bring glass on the beach. And just, you know, they put out all the toys and then Sandy says, bring them in and the water's too choppy. And if I rented a super yacht and it was raining and I had to just sit ashore, I would blow my head off.
Truly. With Kiko's food.
With nothing to eat. And here I am in Spain and I just have Kiko to feed me.
Yeah, I mean, everything about like Kiko, I love him, but he makes me nervous. As I mentioned to you, Casey, I'm used to a chef that's an asshole, you know? And Kiko's like too sweet. So everything about him kind of just makes me nervous. But I love him as a person.
Of course. No, I like that old chef, Adam. With the disgusting Crocs, he was such an asshole.
Yeah, he's one of the only Bravo. He might be the only reality star I follow on Instagram. I follow him. I think he's
Adam
hot.
is who you picked.
Yeah, He's outside cooking beautiful food over fires.
And is he doing well?
You know, he's building a farm. And he's driving around in his van or his truck, and he's riding his motorbike, and he's cooking over open flames.
That's nice. That's nice for him. Last thing, when Bugs was coming back, when she did that entrance, it was so sad to watch her walk down the deck in those like Vera Bradley-esque duds and like 27 clips in the side of her hair. Like, I only want to see Bugs and it was like, it's raining. It wasn't like the walk that she wanted it to be, like the big entrance. Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, I brought the weather. It was just so like, poor Bugs. And then she's doing those designs, which is just throwing crystals out on a table and getting praise for it.
Oh my God. Captain Sandy's obsession with tablescapes. Like, she's obsessed. Like, I'd rather just have a really good meal, and I'd be like, get all these trinkets off the table.
Yeah, make me a margarita and get your crystals out of here.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say is that it's clear that Bugs has been brought on to like get rid of, like, Hannah. I feel like it's turning of the guard. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, but Bugs isn't going to cut it in that role. She's like a genuine nice person and a hard worker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like the look. I'm gonna go to the other one. I like the look of Captain Lee, and I like the look of his first stew. Is she something to watch?
She's fun. She might be done though too. I think she's done as well.
But Blair, they're never done if you haven't seen any of them.
Yeah,
you go right back to the beginning.
True, and they're gonna hold up for you.
Yeah, I'm sure this will be episodes and seasons that we'll go back and watch 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Okay, Blair, we're going to bring you back for more Below Deck. I just wanted to dip a toe in the water.
Great.
This is annoying. I'm annoying myself.
No, I'll dip a toe in the water. I didn't even notice. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Casey. It's great to see you.
It's so good to see you, Blair. I miss you.
I miss you.
Okay. Bye, Blair. Blair Beeken, everyone, discussing Below Deck Med.